and this is Ann from Blackberryrock Homestead. Thought we'd go take a look at the garden today and have a little garden update. This is garden update number 2. I'm sorry about the wind, but I'm walking down to Coco's Corners right now. So then I will be switching over to my regular camera. That is what this strap is, and this is my favorite hoodie because it is nice and warm and it's kind of chilly out here today. So I'm gonna switch over so you see what's going on. First, a little update in the house. These are sweet potatoes, if y'all didn't know by it. Anyway, I first put this one in the south window and this one in facing towards our backyard. I don't know what direction it is. I'm not very good with directions. Well, the rooted, I don't know. You can tell this one has taken off really good. And then I placed this one in the south window and it is doing wonderfully. I heard that you could clip these off, you know, the little starts, and then put them in water. But I don't know how true that is. So, first time growing sweet potatoes. Not the first time putting them in a container like this, but first time growing sweet potatoes like this. So, if anybody out there knows, please let me know. Then I was going through my potatoes and I found some more that had budded out, and I put it in a glass of water. I got 2 of them. This one looks like it is sprouting. So now let's go on outside. Look at the garden out there. Each area of my garden is named. I have planted some onions in this bucket and in this one. Don't look like they're coming up. And there are some onions planted around here, chicken wire, because of the chickens. And I did plant an onion right there that I had started in the house from just a root. Potatoes, there are potatoes, mix of red and white. And I do not see, I ain't got them, well, yep, there's some planted right there coming up. They are coming up, so I'm going to have to get me some more dirt and add to that. Now moving on, slowly panning, slowly panning, slowly panning. I do have asparagus here. It's not up yet. Moving on into Coco's Annex. There is kale, the dwarf curly variety, and looks like there is some poppies coming up. I do need to take that toad off. But there's kale. I need to start clipping that more, and there's weeds in there. I'm going to cover it up because it is very windy today. Then in here is the dinosaur kale. And looks like it's doing pretty good what's came up. And I planted that in the winter time, by the way. So now, moving on to the greenhouse area of my garden. Like I said, every area of the garden is named. So we'll look at this tote first, which has my lettuce. Okay. And there is the lettuce, folks. I have already harvested a little bit of it yesterday for supper and for my lunch. And I have every other cinder block hole that I've got filled so far. I've planted onions. And I did plant nastrums in underneath these, but I noticed this the other day. Look at that. That is a nastrum, folks. And it was just underneath that. but none of the others have come up. Nope. I think it might have been because that one's enclosed and it's like a greenhouse effect. So, moving on. This is my milk jug, part of my milk jug winter sowing project. I've got broccoli rapapini and some red cabbage. A little bit of green cabbage. I decided I'd leave them out. Nothing up in these little potato, my little experiments. Bucket and a bag. And then this past weekend I also did something else for the potatoes. Rhubarb isn't up. I got 2 of them planted there. Right here, I added some straw. I'm going to try growing them in straw and see how that works. There are blue potatoes on this side and a Yukon Gold on that side. So, let's go back and looking at all my winter sowing projects. The plants, whatever. So, I got this frost blanket. The wind might be blowing it off, but oh well. So, let's look at tote number 1. I'm going to leave that open. This is tote number 1. And these are either chives or onions. We got some Brussels sprouts. Some rainbow Swiss chard there. And cilantro has decided to join the little growing party. And this is pak choy. I know I need to thin them out, so don't even say. But I know I need to thin them out. So that's pretty much what is in here. This is Swiss chard. There's one that hasn't grown up yet. And that is Brussels sprouts. That might be just a dud. Who knows? So moving on to the next tote. I'm going to uncover this and show you the rest. Tote number 2 that I planted was peppers. None of the peppers are up yet, but I do have some green cabbage, some red cabbage, a little bit of cilantro. That cauliflower's not up, but that one is. But no peppers. But we do have the cold crops, except for this one isn't growing up. The next tote is my tomatoes and herbs. Sage is starting to come up. This tomato is joining the growing party. So is the beefsteak. The red brandywine, there's one. Cherokee purple, brandywine black, Jubilee, brandywine yellow. Thought I seen another one. Nope. All of them are joining the growing party. Aren't they cute? Next tote is my herb area, and they're not very, this one isn't very old, so I will be putting the lid back on. Looks like there's something in that one, and that is rosemary. I don't know if that's rosemary, coming up or not, but I used Scott soil on this one, not regular potting soil, just Scott's. I do believe that's what I used. And then this is my last one that I planted, and I will be putting the lid back on. This is where the single seed is. So, all these brothers and sisters. Now moving on to the rest of the milk jugs. Nothing really is growing in here except for the, let me look and see, the cherry tomatoes. There is a couple of them in there. And I finally got marigold growing. And then this one is another experiment just to see how it is. It is the rocket tomato from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to cover these up and then we'll go look at the other areas of the garden that I got stuff growing. Now we're walking in strawberry fields. I got tons of daffodils blooming, and I have taken my planter, the barbecue grill, out. I'm done with it. It was an old trash and I was planting plants in it. I changed my mind. So moving on over here, this is my garlic bed, and I don't have no potatoes growing up in there just yet. And I do have some garlic coming up. I hope y'all can see that. Maybe one or two little shoots of garlic shooting up. So, this is Strawberry Fields area of my garden. So let's walk into veggies. And this is where I planted biggest part of my irises the other day, where I transplanted them. I transplanted them right here. I know I didn't just throw them in the ground, but you know what? It's hard to kill irises. So that is where I put biggest part of them, is along there. So spanning around. And here is my broccoli bed. There is 6 rows that I planted. I just direct sowed. And some of these other starts, I have no idea what they are. So I might just let a couple of them grow. I don't remember what I had planted in this bed last year. I think I had lettuces planted in part of this bed. Anyway, so moving on, the rapapini that I have growing, which I need to uncover so that it'll get used to the wind, will be planted on this end of this bed. And moving on, the reddish bed. I got 3 rows, maybe 4 rows coming up. But look at there, there's some little carrots coming up. Little carrots coming up in that bed. No little carrots coming up from the carrot tape as of yet. But there are some carrots growing up. See them little carrots and radishes coming up? Woohoo! We're going to have some radishes. And there's some carrots coming up in that one too. Look at there. But not in the carrot tape one yet. First time growing carrot tape. And they was planted the same time. But that's all radishes. That's the row I planted the carrot tape. And the chicken wire so the chickens won't scratch. The next area I'm going to be working on is to... These aren't coming up yet. The next after I get done with the pen I'm working on for the goats, for their grazing area, will be to fence out my garden so the chickens won't be getting into my garden because they free range, they go everywhere. And I am also eliminating the cooler because you can't grow plants in a cooler. Trust me, I tried. And I will be eliminating the stool in Veggieland. So I don't know what I'm going to plant there. I might just put an archway there. And there's no potatoes growing in that one either. So that's it for today. Bye.